Hey everyone, I am Nathaniel Rumpleljants, and this is Prime News. So today's first topic, the lead topic for our beautiful Monday here, is that an action-adventure game is potentially coming to Switch from Capcom that we might not know about. This was actually unveiled in their E3 planning on their website. It has action-adventure listed for Switch in terms of games they are going to talk about at E3. Now, it's important to note that Okami HD, which is a Capcom property and would be considered an action-adventure game, has already been announced for Nintendo Switch. So it is possible that this listing may just be in reference to Okami HD. It's also possible that we're talking about a brand new game, because Capcom did note towards the end of last year that they are looking into bringing games to a Nintendo Switch that they had previously never considered bringing to the platform, and this would typically be games that were not necessarily considered friendly for Nintendo systems, if that makes sense. We're thinking about games kind of like what Bethesda's brought to the table, so it is possible that we are going to see a new action-adventure style game coming from Capcom for Switch that might not have been in consideration for the platform in years in the past. But again, we do know of one that's already coming, so this might just be a reference to that. Although I feel like they would just say they're going to talk about Okami HD since it's already announced, but what do I know? There's also some listings for different genres and types for other platforms as well. You can use your own speculation to try to figure all of this out. Now, our second story is one that hit over the weekend, but it's something I want to address anyways because it is something that's going to matter for some consumers out there, and that is that Nintendo is attempting to redesign the left Joy-Con. The reason that this is even a thing that needs to happen is because the left Joy-Con, every single left Joy-Con since launch essentially, has had the same issue. Now, Joy-Cons you buy today, the issue is fixed in it, but it's fixed with the same fix that it would happen if you bought a launch Joy-Con and sent it into Nintendo. And that is that the antenna in the left Joy-Con runs up along the side, up behind a piece of metal. And this piece of metal actually is interfering with the signal from the antenna. And this is the Bluetooth antenna that connects it with Switch. This leads to connectivity issues with the Nintendo Switch when you get even a couple feet away. Now, Nintendo did fix this issue by installing conductive foam in all new left Joy-Cons and also doing it in Joy-Cons that people sent in for repair. I've never sent mine in, and I have launched Joy-Cons, so technically the issue exists with my left Joy-Con, although I've never actually witnessed interference, and it might just be because I have a lack of other Bluetooth devices in my house, so there might be less interference in general. But I'm sure, when I'm out in LA and in the hotel and at E3, that I'm going to start noticing some issues with my left Joy-Con connectivity when I take it off the Switch, but whatever. Nintendo has actually filed a patent with the FCC that changes the internal board. The patent actually specifically says it's to change the location of the antenna. They're trying to make an amendment to the prior patent for the Joy-Cons so they could just, instead of having a whole brand new patent, just add this in as a new design. And essentially they've taken the antenna and they've ran it the opposite direction, which is what some people have done themselves, where they've opened up the Joy-Con and soldered a wire and ran the antenna down to the bottom right. Well, they are looking to do that here with the board, and I'm showing some images here showing the difference between the old version and the new version they have filed. There really isn't any indication on when or if this version of the left Joy-Con will be coming, but it was just filed with the FCC over the weekend, so I would expect to see these new versions of the boards and the new Joy-Cons arriving this summer. I don't expect Nintendo to make any announcement about it or make a big hubbub. These are the kind of hardware revisions that Nintendo just doesn't talk about. It's just a way of improving the hardware over time, just like the new SoC that's going to launch on Switch, with the new internal T214 chip versus the stock Tegra X1. However, Nintendo's not going to make some grand announcement. Hey, look, we have a new model of the Switch out there. That's not something that Nintendo ever really talks about. You know how many different versions of the Xbox 360 existed with the internals, and Microsoft never made a big deal out of that. Same thing here. This is all about protecting Nintendo and improving the usability for the users, less complaints, and obviously it must just be cheaper to redesign the board in here instead of just continually adding new pieces of conductive foam. Moving on, our third story is maybe something we should have saw coming. A man is suing Nyko over the Switch dock issues because obviously his Switch was bricked. Michael Skiatheatis, I'm sure I butchered that. You guys know I suck with pronunciations. He's filed a class action lawsuit in the U.S. District Court of Central Florida. He actually bought the Nyko dock at a Walmart in Jacksonville, Florida, but it messed up and, bricked his Switch. He did send in his Switch to Nintendo this month of April, and he did tell Nyko about the issue itself, although it is highly likely that even if Nintendo does repair the system under warranty, it's not going to be an actual repair. They're probably just going to send him a new Switch with his account transferred over, which means all of his saves are gone. Now, we do know that you can fix the brick Switch, but Nintendo's not going to do it. It requires the replacement of a certain chip on the board, and only third-party people that are willing to essentially do board repairs are going to do that. Nintendo does not do board repairs. Let me make this very clear. Nintendo has never gone in a warranty situation and fixed a chip on a board. They always just give you a new replacement item. And in this case, it'd be a replacement Switch because the memory module is tied to that board. So even if they replace the board in that Switch, it would come with a new memory module, which essentially makes it a brand new Switch unit. So yeah, they're just going to give him a new refurbished Switch or whatever the case may be, and he won't have any of his save data, and that's obviously something that people care about. Now, setting aside that there obviously is a third-party way to fix this issue, the lawsuit itself states that unbeknownst to consumers, the Nyko portable docking units for Nintendo Switch are prone to causing numerous problems to the devices that are intended to support, adding that Nyko did not go far out of its way to disclose the bug. Now, in the past, Nyko has blamed all of this on Nintendo, as have other docks. Like, Nyko dock's not the only one having bricking issues. Since the 5.0.0 update, a lot of docks have been bricking Switches, and everyone's pointing the fingers at Nintendo. Hey, Nintendo, you are making these things brick. There's even a recent report out there from a well-known third-party manufacturer that, hey, look, Nintendo is fear-mongering. They are creating this problem that does not need to exist, and it's not just because they aren't, complying with USB-C compliance, because they weren't complying with it before the 5.0.0 update either. They're essentially accusing Nintendo of purposely bricking Switches if you use anything but Nintendo products. Whether or not that's legal or whether or not it can be even proven that's the case, who knows? Because Nintendo is not required by law to test their product with third-party products. And what Nintendo has said all along is we do not test our products with third-party devices. If you want to ensure nothing ever happens, always buy first party. And that's legal and that's fine, but there's a lot of accusations out there that Nintendo's doing this on purpose to prevent competitors from creating accessories for Switch. So we'll have to wait and see on that front what happens from this lawsuit. I'm not sure what could happen because it's easy enough for Nyko to be like, look, we'll just replace your Switch. They've done that for some people. We'll fix your Switch. We'll do whatever. But in terms of the game save data, I mean, what's the price on hundreds, potentially thousands of hours of lost game save data? I mean, where do you draw the line? Is it just the cost of the games? Say you have 1,000 hours in Breath of the Wild. Like, what's the price on that? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. He very well might win this lawsuit for all I know. And it could lead to the Nyko docks being yanked out of stores. Maybe that's his goal, is to prevent other people from running into this issue. All I know is I would not use any third-party docks at this point. You can buy shells for the official dock and just take the board out of the official dock. It's actually very simple, and put it in a shell if you would like a smaller dock. And I do technically use a third-party dock once in a while that I have, but I'm wary that I'm at risk every time I use it, and I don't know what I would do if my Switch got bricked. Probably something I should stop doing, but I just don't want to buy another dock. I need multiple docks. Well, I desire multiple docks, right? It just makes life more convenient, but we'll have to wait and see the results of this lawsuit. If and when results happen, it could take over a year, sometimes 2 years to really see the end of this. And it's obviously going to depend on how dedicated he is to this lawsuit, because lawsuits like this tend to get dragged out and either get settled outside of court, or if it does, become this big deal, it's going to cost a lot of money for him to get to that point. And then he needs to win, because Nyko will then have to be forced to pay all the lawyer fees. And, well, we'll have to see how serious this person is, because a class action lawsuit can be handled rather quickly or just take a long time, because Nyko is going to try to drag this out and keep their product on store shelves as long as possible. In other news, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze actually releases this week on Nintendo Switch, but that's not really the news here. The news is that Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is no longer available to purchase through Nintendo's like online store, like through the internet, through a web browser for Wii U digitally. You can still buy a physical version, but you're no longer allowed to buy a digital version. Now, I actually hope some of you guys out there can clarify this. I don't own a Wii U, so I want some clarification to see if it's actually been yanked from the Wii U eShop, because it appears Nintendo is not trying to sell the digital copy anymore, only selling physical copies. The game's probably already out of print, so they're just selling physical copies they already have. But yeah, it's very strange to see Nintendo be like, look, even if you want to buy this for Wii U, too bad, go buy a Switch. That's essentially what they're telling anyone considering buying a digital copy on Wii U. So just an interesting note of marketing strategy where it's releasing on Switch this week. So, hey, look, now you can't buy it digitally on another platform. Okay. I don't really think one was going to impact the other anyways. It's just an interesting note. I fully expect the Wii U eShop itself to be shut down in the next year anyways, but we'll see what happens on that front. The last story we're actually going to cover deals with Kirby Star Allies because there was a recent update to it called Dream Friends, and it included some new characters, including Marks, Gooey, Rick and Kine, and Koo to the game. But in addition, that update included some other information that people were able to data mine out of it. This comes from a person on Twitter that I will link down in the description. And thanks to the data mining, we know there's at least 2 more waves coming, at least based on what's currently available in Kirby Star Allies. And in the second wave, we are going to get Adeline, DeRoche, and Dark Meta Knight. That's in wave 2. And in wave 3, we're going to have Megalore, Taranza, Suis, and Sebastian Mages. Now, we don't know if there's going to be more waves and additional updates in the future. These are free updates to the game, by the way. And being a game that you take over multiple characters and add friends in and can play as all this stuff, they really have infinite possibilities to draw upon the whole Kirby franchise here. But yeah, that's what they're doing right now. We don't know when these waves are hitting. They haven't announced when Wave 2 or Wave 3 would hit, or if there's even going to be a Wave 2 or Wave 3. But now we know for sure. So we'll just have to wait and see what's going to happen with that. Anyways, folks, I am Nathaniel Rufflejans from Nintendo Prime, and if you like this video, you know what to do, and if you dislike the video, hit that dislike button, subscribe for more content, and yeah, let me know if there's any other content you'd like to see from this channel moving forward. You see, we're going to keep Prime News going. We're going to still have our rants and our discussion videos and stuff, but if there's any particular content you would like to see us do, more so once we're done with E3, let us know, because we would like to expand our coverage here as we look to bring more and more videos to you every single day. All right, folks, I'll catch you guys in the next one.